Safety is the responsibility of every one of us. Every member of First Great Western has a duty of safety, whether we work in an office, in a depot, at a station or on a train. This film shows how we can all help when things go wrong on a train. Not only how we can help the train crew, but also prevent injury and loss of life. I'm sure that you'll find this film interesting, and for the more curious amongst you, it will show what all those buttons are for.
I'm Paul, and I'm a train manager with First Great Western.
And I'm Claire, a customer service host with First Great Western.
As a train manager, I'm in charge of the train and have responsibility for the safety of the passengers. I'm also in charge of the on-train staff, including customer service hosts like Claire.
As a customer service host, my prime role is to look after the catering needs of the passengers. But in an emergency situation, passengers will turn to the first member of staff they can find.
That's right, it might be a member of the catering staff, a revenue protection officer, or even a First Great Western employee travelling passenger.
So we all need some training in the use of on-train equipment, and that's what this programme is all about. Let's start with communication. You may need to speak to the passengers, make a staff announcement, or call for assistance from the train manager. The best way to do this is by using the train's PA system. PA handsets can be found in the train manager's office in coach A and here in the buffet car. Simply pull the switch down to the on position, pick up the handset, press the little button by the earpiece. This is a staff announcement. Could the train manager please come to the buffet car? Once you've finished, put the switch back into the off position.
You may encounter a situation which requires you to stop the train. The quickest way to do this is to pull one of the red alarm handles, passcoms as we know them. Most vehicles have 6 alarm handles, 4 in the saloon and 1 in each toilet. To activate, pull the red handle smartly towards you. It'll pull out about 1 inch. And on HSTs, will automatically apply the train brakes. On newer trains like the Adelante, the passcoms don't actually apply the brakes, they alert the driver to an emergency. We'll deal with these new trains in a later programme.
On Mark II coaching stock, the passcom is operated by pulling a red chain. This type will apply the train brakes. Remain by the passcom until the train manager locates you, and then give a brief explanation of your reason for pulling the alarm. The train manager will then tell you what to do next. If you come across a door that is on the catch or open while the train is moving, don't attempt to close it. Pull the red alarm handle and from a safe position, warn passengers to stay clear of the door. Again, when the train manager arrives, he or she will deal with the situation.
The alarm handles in our sleeping cars are exactly the same as those on the HSTs, only there are more of them. Apart from one at each end of the corridor, there's one in each compartment, one in each toilet, and one in the crew compartment.
Fires on trains can range from something small, like a smouldering cigarette end, to a major conflagration. Use your fire training knowledge to assess the situation, and always consider your own safety and that of the passengers before attempting to tackle any fire. Remember, even a minor fire can have very serious safety implications.
In most circumstances, any fire will require the train to be stopped before an attempt can be made to tackle it. Foam-type fire extinguishers are located in the vestibule at one end of each coach. These extinguishers can be used on most kinds of fire, but not electrical. Before an attempt can be made to tackle the fire, you must isolate the train supply by breaking the glass and turning the switch. Sleeping cars have their own fire alarm system, which is activated by smoke detectors. or may be manually activated by breaking the glass of the alarm panel and operating the alarm. If you discover any kind of fire in a sleeping car, you must activate the fire alarm as well as pull in the PASCOM. A CO2 extinguisher is located in the crew compartment and a foam extinguisher at the other end of the corridor.
Coach E in our HST formation has a toilet facility for disabled passengers. The toilet compartment is fitted with a call for aid button so that a passenger inside can call for assistance in emergency. A similar call for aid button is located in the saloon wheelchair bay. This makes a different sound from the one in the toilet so that you can tell which is which. If you hear either of these two alarm tones, investigate immediately. If it's coming from the toilet, talk to the passenger through the door. Find out what the problem is and reassure them. Call the train manager using the PA system if further assistance is required.
In the vestibule area by the toilet for the disabled, there's a lockable cupboard containing a wheelchair ramp. This ramp is essential for getting a chair-bound passenger either on or off the train at a station platform.
As I said earlier, in an emergency situation, passengers will turn to the first member of staff they can find. This might be the train manager, but it's just as likely to be another member of staff like myself. Remember, in these circumstances, passengers may be frightened or distressed, so it's important to calm and reassure them. This means remaining calm and confident yourself. The train manager should take control of the emergency, so let him or her know what you can do to assist. For example, are you trained in first aid?
If the train manager isn't available for any reason, you'll have to take control yourself. Begin by stopping the train by means of the PASCOM. Then there are three main points to remember. These are provided to our customers on the safety information cards. First, move passengers to a position of safety within the train. Take them through to another coach if necessary. If it's not possible, you'll have to leave the train by one of the external doors. And lastly, if there really is no other means of escape, you'll have to break a coach window. Let's ask Claire to show us in more detail.
If you can't move the passengers to safety in another coach, go to the nearest external door. Before you do anything, consider the serious hazards outside the train. You should always try to leave the train on the side where there are no adjacent tracks. If this is not possible, take particular care. Other trains may still be moving on these adjacent tracks. There may also be steep embankments or other physical hazards like debris. In some locations, there are live overhead wires or an electrified third rail. Above each external door, there is a green emergency release panel. Strike the cover with your clenched fist. Then remove the cover and pull out the green handle. The arrow shows you which end to pull. This releases the door locking mechanism. Now lower the window, reach out to the external door handle and open the door in the usual way. Before you attempt to climb down, check again for those hazards we talked about. There are two ways of getting down to ground level. Choose the option which is most comfortable for you. The first method is to sit on the coach step and jump down. The second method is to turn backwards and climb down using the offset external steps. These steps are only fitted at alternate doorways and are inset, so it's difficult to see them. So make quite sure the door has these steps before adopting this method. Once you're safely down, you can assist the passengers. Small children can be passed down. Once detrained, passengers must be kept together and move quickly to a position of safety away from any running lines.
There's an emergency external door in the corridor of the buffet car. Now this door operates in a slightly different way. Begin by sliding the glass panel covering the red release handle in the direction of the arrow. Now as soon as you do this, an alarm will sound. Now reach in and lift the red release handle. The door will open immediately.
If you hear this alarm sounding during normal service, you should investigate immediately. If the door lock has been tampered with, you should deal with the situation in the same way as you would for a door on the catch or open. If the door lock hasn't been tampered with, call the train manager who will reset the alarm.
If you need to open a door from outside of the train, look for the external emergency access handle. There's only one on each side of the coach, adjacent to the door which it releases. Break the glass cover and turn the red handle to the vertical position. This will release the central lock bolt on the door, which can then be opened in the normal way.
If, in an emergency, you can't get to an external door, you'll need to break a window. Locate one of the window hammers in its recessed panel and strike the cover. Remove the remains of the cover and pull out the green hammer. Then, aiming the pointed steel tip of the hammer at the glass, strike the window in one corner. Don't try and break the glass in the middle, as the glass will flex and absorb the impact without breaking. The windows are double glazed, so keep striking until both the inner and outer panes are broken. Now, push out the fragmented glass with any reasonable heavy item, such as a bag. Climbing from a train through a window aperture can be difficult and dangerous, so be very careful and assist the passengers as much as you can. Once they're detrained, keep them together and escort them to a position of safety.
Emergency equipment can be found in this cupboard in the train manager's office. To open the cupboard, simply break the glass. Then pull down the handle. It contains a first aid box, as well as items like an axe, a saw, a crowbar and some rope. Escape ladders can be found in the brake van behind the train manager's office, in the luggage compartment of each power car, and in the crew compartment of each sleeping car. You'll learn in detail how to use these ladders as part of your emergency evacuation training.
We hope you found this programme useful in familiarisation with the location and use of the on-train emergency equipment.
Always remain calm and confident when you have to deal with any kind of incident.
Thank you, Paul and Claire. I hope now that you'll have a much better understanding of what you can do if things go wrong on a train. Remember, we all have a duty of safety towards ourselves, our colleagues and our customers. I hope now that you're far more confident in knowing what you can do to help. Thanks for watching.